Welcome back to SwitchCorner. My name is Alex and today we're taking a look at Dandy Ace on the Nintendo Switch. Now, having killed a couple of thousand enemies at this point and took down a boss moment, I wanted to break down what it's all about, how the performance stands up, what I like, what I dislike, and whether it's going to be worthy of standing alongside, you know, the roguelike genre greats. So with that luck, hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get started. So story here, it's minimal. It's a quick cutscene to open the game and a few minor dialogue exchanges. The concept though, Dandy Ace has been trapped in a mirror world by a competing magician known as Lele. That is because Dandy stole the attention of the public and the fame. You now need to escape and it's nothing more than setup, which is a shame because this is absolutely a world worth developing. So gameplay, and it's the latest roguelike to grace the Switch. The goal of the usual, make it to the end of a run, which in the case of Dandy Ace is a map with branching pathways and biomes to traverse. Eventually this will be player choice as well as you uncover 4 keys allowing you to enter new locations. It's also then procedurally generated as well, but that is in the sense of layout and definitely not that visual look. The combat though is where we should start. A title like this, it lives and dies by its combat, and I'm happy to say it's the most unique system in the game and it is a good one. So you get 4 slots here, each attached to a face button, and you will use playing cards to fill these slots, each with a different ability. Now opening each run, you're going to be given 3 cards at random. They actually come from the 3 core deck types, so that's attack, movement and utility. And you will be gaining new ones with progress, some purchased, some found, some dropped by enemies. The 3 deck types though, they equate to abilities like a quick dash, a melee attack, ranged and defensive. There's even of course magic, like the ability to stun or poison your foes. What I like though, the game puts no limitations on you in the sense the deck and the 4 you choose, it can be any combination of the decks to suit your playstyle. If you want just 4 attacks only, you can absolutely do that. You can even then with progression combine cards and double stack them, so let's say add stun to your melee attack. That way you're kind of doing max damage on your opponents but also buying yourself a window of opportunity immediately after. I know I like the card system as well because even when I found a build I liked, I couldn't help but try something new when it did come along, and it for sure leads to a nice bit of experimentation and variety. This is helped then by the fact the controls feel great, and it's far from button mashing this one, not only because these enemies they come in waves and often there's a huge number of them, but thanks to the fact it demands skill because often these skills they have a cooldown, so you need to play it smart. Enemies then as well, they are designed to leverage all the skill types as they bombard you with different attack types in return. Then with progression as well, in each level you will find opportunities to purchase health and other cards to aid you in your quest. You'll be using gold collected in this world to do this. I actually didn't pay too much attention to this system at first, but these are absolutely necessary and they prove to be the best cards you will find in that particular level. On that note then, naturally with the genre, it's not an easy game, but for those that want even more, it has a normal difficulty as well as 3 increasingly challenging options up to tier nightmare that can be unlocked. Also in this game, on difficulty there's no health regen at all, rather you pick up cupcakes that enemies drop to restore health. You can buy them of course, or you use your tea. Now you'll start with 1 batch of tea that you can drink, but quickly figure out ways to get more. The game then, as I said, it's broken down into rooms that you must conquer, but between each level expect a hub world. Here you'll meet up with your assistants. They have 2 stores here, one where you can spend shards that unlock permanent upgrades, and then you can also unlock what's called trinkets. Think buffers, like the ability to add more health to your tea set, or even maybe you won't die on that final blow and it'll give you like 90 seconds to get to the end. This isn't as simple as though all are available immediately as you boot up the game, rather you'll need an enemy to drop them in game, so they are added to the store. Alongside this of course, then each death, imagine you're going back to the very beginning again. Following each boss moment as well though, you can level up the starting deck that you are given, but this design it absolutely leads to what is a challenging opening couple of hours. Issues wise though, and this leads in perfectly, I'm not a fan of randomly assigned skills to open a run. It's an idea to make you master all abilities, but I prefer the more strategic approach of, let's say, Hades, where I chose my weapon to master and the game, like, you know, still absolutely destroyed me. No matter the balancing they do in this design, you see, based on your playstyle, some setups will feel considerably weaker, and I did quit a few times and reload until I saw a free card deck I could work with. I had a very similar experience with Curse of the Dead Gods. Performance then as well, I'm past that first boss. 99% of the time it's been fine, but there has been some minor frame rate drops here and there when the game gets overwhelmed with, enemies on screen. There's also a small stutter very occasionally. I do want to clarify though here, Hades has that same issue, so if you played Hades, it's nothing new to you, and that should tell you how infrequent it has been. Overall for the gameplay though, look, the loop is nothing you haven't seen before. Move from room to room, battle it out, sometimes with the freedom to run, others you'll find yourself locked in an arena with a kill list to progress. It's all then topped off with enough tweaks to make it stand out. I really do like that card deck system. Genre fans though, I imagine you will be more than happy with this one's ideas, but those that maybe don't like the genre, do not come here looking for something to change your mind, because this absolutely won't do it. Visuals and audio then, and first off, it's refreshing to see so much colour. The game has basically went for every possible vibrant colour it could and whacked them into the game, and I like to see that. It works perfectly alongside the minor moments of humour in game and also that magical like setting. Attacks then look great, each weapon is visually unique, and the enemies also great stuff. Yes, they naturally of course repeat, but they have such a good variety in their attacks. Learning their movesets, that was a real pleasure, and it's also going to be key to your success. Very few problems, and honestly visually, the occasional dialogue moment that's accompanied with a character model on screen can be a little bit pixelated. Also, I will say the world doesn't deviate too much from what you see in the very opening moments. On top of that then, just occasionally there can be so many enemies on screen, there's so much flash in this game, which isn't a bad thing, but just occasionally I did find I would maybe lose Dandy on screen just for a moment. But in a game like this, that did definitely lead to some extra hits on me that maybe wouldn't have taken place. Audio then is probably the weakest part of this package. It's not awful or anything, just not quite up to the standard of the rest of the package. Lele narrates much of the action, and within a few runs you're gonna notice a lot of repeating jokes. They start off entertaining enough, but I can tell you now after 20 or so runs it's definitely starting to grate. Thankfully though, I think they worked this out for themselves as well. They included audio options for narrator volume, but also frequency, meaning you can dial it back or even just turn it off entirely. Music then rounds it out, and it's pretty generic stuff though, surprisingly electronic, which I did not expect. And then it has some decent little attack sounds, it's just nothing worth writing home about. Alright, so my impressions this far, genre fans, take a look. I'm having fun with it, the gameplay is solid, the combat is varied, and the ability to shape Dandy with the cards in use is just a fantastic time, leading to a lot of what I'm finding almost experimentation. I just wish they had focused on the story just a tiny bit more, because it's clear that we have this fantastic world and cast that's just basically being underutilized. If you've beaten titles like Hades though and Curse of the Dead Gods, this one is probably one of the better examples of the genre, with a few nice tweaks in here to make it feel just a little bit unique. Will you be adding this one to the library then, or are you holding onto that cash? With that then, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.